and welcome to Storytime with Mr. Anderson. Today we're going to be reading The Boy Who Cried Wolf. It's retold by Mary McKinnon and it's illustrated by Mike and Carl Gordon. This story is about Sam, some sheep, the villagers, and maybe a wolf. Sam lived in a little village in the mountains. Every day he took the sheep from the village up the hill to a grassy meadow. Here we are again. He watched them from morning until evening. La 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 la. Then he took them home again. This way, mutton brain. Every day was the same. Same old mountains, same old trees. Sam was lonely and was so bored. All his friends were down in the village. He tried talking to the sheep. And how are you today? But they didn't have much to say. Nobody ever comes up here, moaned Sam. Nothing ever happens. One day he had an idea. I could make something happen. He ran down the hill to the village. Help! Help! What's the matter? A wolf! He cried. A wolf has come out of the forest! Everyone ran up the hill with him. Hurry, my sheep! Puffing and panting, they reached the meadow. Of course, there was no wolf. All that way for nothing? The sheep were quietly eating their grass. The villagers were angry. But Sam just laughed. That was funny. No, it wasn't. A few days later, Sam was bored again. He ran down the hill to the village. Help! Help! What's the matter now? Come quickly! A wolf! He shouted. A wolf has come out of the forest! Some people didn't believe him. Oh, yes? But most ran up the hill to see. We'd better make sure. Puffing and panting, they reached the meadow. Of course, there was no wolf. The sheep were quietly eating their grass. Everyone was very angry, but Sam just laughed. What are you grinning at? A week later, Sam was bored again. He ran down the hill to the village. Help, help, there really is a wolf! Most people didn't believe him this time. Just a few ran up the hill. Come quickly! Puffing and panting, they reached the meadow. Of course, there was no wolf. You think you're so clever. The sheep were quietly eating their grass. Now everyone was furious. Sam laughed and laughed. A few days later, a wolf did come out of the forest. Sam was terrified. He ran down to the village as fast as he could. Help, please, help! Nobody believed him. Do you think we're so stupid? I promise you, there's a wolf! Sam begged them to come with him. You have to help me! This time, they just laughed at him. In the end, Sam had to go back up the hill all alone. The wolf had killed some of the sheep. The rest had run away. Sam stayed in the meadow until it was dark. Finally, the villagers came to find him. "Our sheep! No! I told you! Why didn't you believe me?" he asked. "You always told lies before," they said. "I'm sorry. I've learned my lesson. Never again," said Sam. About this story. The Boy Who Cried Wolf is one of Aesop's fables. These are a collection of short stories first told in ancient Greece around 4,000 years ago. Nobody knows exactly who Aesop was, but the stories are still popular today and they are known all around the world. The stories are often about animals, and they always have a moral, which is a message or a lesson, at the end. The moral of the story about the boy who cried wolf is: no one believes liars, even when they tell the truth. The end. Thank you for listening to today's story. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notification of new content.